Hello, all. I am Coach T, and I have been sitting here contemplating doing this for quite a few minutes. And I'm just going to take the plunge. So, here's the deal. I was challenged to do two fearless things this week. And, I'm always teaching my clients and those of you who follow me, I'm always teaching you about being fearless and overcoming. And I don't know if this just went live or, okay, anyway, I'm here. I'm always teaching you guys about being fearless and about overcoming and, to do those things that gets you out of your comfort zone. And so I was challenged this week to do two fearless things. And one of those things is going live. Like, I have no idea why going live intimidates me. Like, I speak all the time. I'm a teacher, I'm a professor. I speak at different events, I'm an author. And I do videos all the time. So I don't know, it's just something about going live that intimidates me. You know what I think it is? I think it's because, when you do a video, you can always go back and edit it if something goes awry. But with going live, you can't. So it's just me and however many strangers see this video. So anyway, I'm going to get to the point. So I was challenged. So number one was going live. That was the number one challenge for me. And the other one was being super transparent and authentic and telling my rock bottom story. Essentially sharing with you why I go so hard, why I'm so passionate about helping you become confident, more confident and fearless and empowered to live an empowered life. So here goes. Here's my story. So of course, we've all been through some stuff, but I think we all have moments when we are just feel like we've lost who we are. We feel like, why did I make that decision? We feel like, oh my God, why did this happen to me? And so, while some people might call it your rock bottom moment, and that's what I thought it was at that time. Now looking back on it, obviously it wasn't the worst thing that could happen to me, but I've had a couple of those. And so I'm going to talk about the latest one. I am twice divorced. Now, just saying that I'm twice divorced, there's a huge fear in saying that. Why? Because, you want people, we like to be seen as perfect. We like to be seen as, we got it together. We like to be seen as, these confident people. And just saying being twice divorced there's a huge fear, but there's also a power. Why? Because I'm not alone. I'm not alone. But I also had to understand that being divorced twice, three times, four times, it doesn't really matter, does not define me as a person, right? So your struggles and the things that you've been through does not define who you are, right? It says more about what you're capable of overcoming. It says more about your strength than it does about your weaknesses. So after my first marriage disaster, I was super young, 22 years old, when I got married the first time. And I'm not going to go into any real details, but it was not good. Very two young people really didn't know what love was all about, how to take care of each other. And I'll leave it at that. But definitely not a good situation. And so after that, I promised myself that I would not get married again unless like God spoke it, unless God came to me and was like, this is your husband. And I actually waited 20 years, and I'm thinking about it now, it was actually 20 years to the date. So I was 22 when I got married the first time. I was actually 42. Yes, I am over 40. I was actually 42 when I got married the second time. And I have my little notes here, so if you see me looking over here, I just want to make sure that I'm covering everything. And I had promised myself that during that process, during that time of waiting, that I would take care of myself. I would do some personal growth stuff. I would do some self-development. I would reach some goals. I would accomplish some things that I wanted to accomplish. And that's exactly what I did. I read a lot of self-help books. I went back to school. I got my associates, my bachelor's, my master's, and even my doctorate. And right on the intel of getting my doctorate is when my now ex-husband came into my life. And at that point I thought he was a gift from God. This is what I've been waiting for. I had some people confirm that, and it was, I confirmed it. That's really what matters. I thought that God had sent me my husband. And so 7 years to the date of getting married, on our 7th year anniversary, my marriage was over. Just like that. Again, I'm not going to go into the super details of it, but just know that I was heartbroken. I felt broken. I felt my faith in God was broken a little bit too, because my question was, why, God? Why did I have to go through this? I've been serving you all of this time, and now the person that I thought that you sent me is not. And again, I'm looking over here at my notes just to make sure I get everything. But I was broken. And that's why I can teach you about being an overcomer, because I am. I've been through that, right? You look at me today, and yes, I am accomplished. Yes, I have done a lot of things that I'm super proud of, still working towards some goals. But listen, y'all don't know. You don't know what it took for me to get here. So that's why I can teach about that self-doubt. That's why I can teach about overcoming. That's why I can teach about being fearless. I can teach about that faith, because I have been there. So anyway, marriage is over after 7 years, after I'm thinking this is the one for me. This is the one that God sent me. And my marriage is over. So not only am I feeling, once again, I'm feeling like, low self-worth, like what is going on? I'm feeling that self-doubt once again. And I'm also feeling like I'm upset, a little upset at God too. So all of these emotions are happening at this moment. So yes, I would call that my rock bottom moment, because of the time that I spent in this relationship, because of the time that I spent preparing myself, and now I had nothing to answer for it. I had no reward. And so, yeah, I felt like I was kind of at the end there, and that was my rock bottom moment. And, of course, you're questioning God, but you're also questioning yourself. You're also questioning your worth. You're also saying to yourself, am I lovable? Like, why? This is the second. I mean, by all counts, I'm cute, right? And so you're asking yourself, am I even lovable? And what I had to, I was heartbroken. Let's just clear that up. I was heartbroken. I was in a whole lot of debt. And a whole lot of the goals that I wanted to reach, I had not reached them. And given the stage where I was in life, I expected so much more from myself, right? I was overworked. I was stressed out. I blamed myself. I blamed God. And I was asking, where do I go from here? I was even coaching at that time. So I'm like, here I am telling other people what to do, and they're doing it, and they're getting blessed, and they're moving on. And here I am finding myself in a situation that I can't do anything about. What did I do? I use the same warrior tools that I use with my clients, that I talk to you guys about every day. So when you see me telling you guys these things that I'm sharing with you, they're coming from real life experience. I use the tools, especially the 3R, where 3 R's. Well, I had to rewire, retrain, and reframe, and also rewrite my story, right? I had to see things from a different perspective. Now, God and I got in a much deeper relationship because I was really kind of upset. I mean, imagine that. You're upset with God, right? But that's what we do. So I'm just being super transparent here. But Jeremiah 29:11. took on a new meaning. I know the thoughts and the plans that I have for you. Took on a new meaning. Romans 8:28, all things work together for your good, took on a new meaning. Now, I had to go through the process, y'all. I did some crying. I was angry. I was upset, right? I had to go through the process. But what I promised myself I would not be a bitter woman. That's what I promised myself. I promised myself that I would not give anybody power over me like that. I promised myself I would not be in that space of, oh, I'm never going to love again, or I'm never going to do this again, or men are this and men are that. I promised myself I absolutely would not do that. Because see, what you have to understand is that was an experience with a couple of people. Right? That's not everybody in the world. So when you go through stuff, you can't take that limited experience and be like, oh, everybody is like that. Right? So you have to understand how to shift your perspective. And that's exactly what I had to do. So I teach it. I share that information with you guys because that's what I've had to do in my life. I could look at my situation and be like, oh, poor me, oh, why, can't nobody love me? Why can't I seem to find happiness in that way? But here's what I want you guys to understand. Today, after going through the process, after using the tools that I share with you guys and that I work with my clients on, after learning how to shift my perspective, after understanding that all things work together for my good, after learning that the lessons that came out of this is so much greater than I could even imagine. Today, I have found my happy. Today, I am the happiest I have ever been. I'm going to be real transparent with you guys for a moment. There has never been a moment in my adult life, unless I was married or with someone, that I wasn't looking for love. Today, I'm not looking for anything because I have that love on the inside. Today, I have truly found my happy. And I'm good if God sends someone. I'm good. And if he doesn't, I am so good. I've never been in that space before. I've never been in that space before where I am just living my purpose and doing what God would have for me to do and working with people and helping people and being happy with myself. And so, yes, if it took all of that, if it took all of the situations, if it took the being twice divorced, if it took that for me to get to this space, you better believe that I'm okay with that. You better believe I'm okay with that. So that's what I want you to understand, that all things work for your good. Yes, that may have been my rock bottom, but I was able to overcome. There's someone here. I was able to overcome. If you guys would like to join this broadcast, you absolutely can. But I just want you to know that, just because things happen in your life, it doesn't take away your self-worth. It doesn't take away who you are. It doesn't take away the power that you have. Those events happened, but that does not define who I am. Right? And you have to understand, I always say in relationships, there are always two people in that relationship, right? So you can't blame one person, the other person is not to blame. There are two people there, and you both bring your baggage, you both bring your garbage, you both bring your experiences into the relationship. And sometimes you just don't know how to mesh. You don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to work it out. So that's why I promised myself, after 2 poor relationships, I promised myself I would not be a bitter person. I promised myself I would not hate men. I promised myself that. Why? Because the other people don't deserve it. And most importantly, I don't deserve it. I deserve to love. So yes, part of my process was forgiveness. Part of my process was forgiving them for their contribution, but forgiving myself for my contributions as well. Forgiving myself for not knowing what marriage and relationship was all about, right? You think you know until you actually get in it. But the truth is, when you get in there and you're unprepared and you're coming with your experiences, your limited experiences, particularly if you haven't had very good examples, and that's no slack on anybody. That's no slack on our parents. That's no slack on anybody. It is just what it is. We bring our experiences into relationships with other people and we try to make it work. So with that said, I just wanted to end this broadcast with letting you know, when I share with you about overcoming, when I share with you about living fearlessly, when I share with you that you have the power to be successful, to do whatever you put your mind to, it's because I've been there. I have been there and I have come out. I have had to work on myself. When you think you're going crazy, when you think you're losing it, when you think, oh my God, why me? I've had to learn how to shift my perspective. I've had to learn how to change the way that I think. I've had to learn how to do those things so that I could walk in my power. So I did what I said I was going to do. I challenged myself to go live. I challenged myself to be transparent. And I'm proud of myself. And I hope that you're proud of yourself as well. So God bless you and have an amazing day.